right, everybody. We are just barely starting to go live here. I think we are all set up. Just making sure here. Thank you all for being here. We are just barely going live just now. So if you're just barely coming in, have a seat. Give us a minute. It usually takes us 5 minutes or so before we start getting a lot of people in here. Usually we get 100 to 200. It's been as high as 500 people. Just come, hang out with us, give us a minute, and we're going to get started. We talk about autism here, okay? That's what we talk about. And we are getting a lot of people in here. It takes just a moment for it to send it out to people, but thank you for your patience. If you are just coming in, please tap on the screen. It lets the algorithm know that this is a real live and to send it out to our followers. So tap on that screen, get the likes going. We'll get going here in just a minute. How is everyone doing today? What's going on with everyone today? How's everyone doing? A little bit about this live. If you're new here, we answer questions about autism. This is a safe space. It's a judgment-free space. It's a space that you can ask questions. It's a space that you can come up and tell me how you're feeling, and we can cry together. We can laugh together. And that's what we do. A little bit about myself is that I am based out of Utah. Good morning, Mallory. Good to see you. Is it supposed to snow today? I mean, that wind is pretty crazy here. That wind is quite crazy. Freezing cold out there too. So, I mean, hasn't really snowed this whole winter, but Sash, what a good question. I'll get to the potty training question here in just a minute. A little bit. Oh, hello from Scotland. That's great. A little bit about me is that I have a son, 3.5-year-old son with autism. I post about him on occasion, so if you go to my profile, you can see some cute videos about him. I posted one yesterday about him answering questions, and I'm so proud of him. I mean, he's 3.5 years old. 4 weeks ago, he had never answered any questions, and now he has 5 or 6 questions that he can reliably answer every time that we ask him. I'm just so proud. So proud of him. Emma says, just scheduled my son's autism testing appointment. Advice. Oh, yes, I do have advice. Just to finish up explaining a little bit first about what we do here in this live and who I am. So I have a 3.5-year-old with autism. I'm also a board-certified behavior analyst. I've worked with people with autism since 2013. And I am currently the CEO of a company in Utah where we do services for people with autism. We got lots of people throughout Utah that we serve. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you for being here if you're new. And thank you for tapping on the screen already. We have 500 taps. Please keep tapping, and it lets people know to come on in here. Emma says, just scheduled my son's autism testing appointment. Any advice? Emma, how are you feeling about it? Look, my biggest recommendation is to focus on how you're holding up. Emma, yeah, you're nervous as all get out. I understand. How old is your son, Emma? Yeah. Mallory says, received the news that my son's BCBA is leaving current ABA. We will be going with the next company. Well, that's hard. And who knows? Maybe they have a good replacement. Have you talked to them about that? For those who are ever in Utah looking for ABA therapy, my company that I'm the CEO of is Nova Supports. We do pretty good. I'm really proud of the work that we do, and we have 3 clinics: American Fork, Springville, and Ogden, and one in Salt Lake is coming. But Emma, he's 3.5. Okay. July 4th is when. Oh, we'll be 4 in July. I got it. Yeah, Emma. I want to talk to you, Emma. How do I get you up here? Emma, are you willing to come up? I'll change my settings on here if you are. Um, Emma, come on up if you're willing. I want to have a conversation with you. Does that work? Hey, Emma, how are you?
Hi.
Thanks for coming up. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Um, Thank you for being brave and coming up here. I know it's kind of weird. I don't know if you often go live. Do you do this often?
This is my first time.
Oh, good. I've done it a few times, but I'm still kind of new to it as well. So, um, one second here, just changing the settings back. Okay. Okay. So you told us that your 3.5-year-old is now scheduled to have an autism evaluation. What? How long have you been waiting to get it scheduled?
Well, so his PCP had referred us within like the network of the hospital to go get an evaluation. They couldn't get us in until July, but theirs is like a three-step program. So we reached out to a local psychological center to see kind of what their wait time was like, and they have a 2-month wait. I know the university that's near me is up to 12 to 18 months.
Wow. Yeah, the wait lists are brutal. And so well done. I mean, that was going to be my first bit of advice is like go find someone who doesn't have such a big wait list. So when are you scheduled to do it? How far out are you?
Beginning of April.
Okay. And what led you to decide to get an autism evaluation?
I don't know, honestly. I think it's just something in my gut that I know we're struggling with certain things. We do speech therapy, occupational therapy once a week. He's dealt with a lot of ear infections within the last couple of years, so that's really hindered his speech as well. And I
Mm,
just know that he's just not progressing as quickly with doing just the once a week. And I feel like he's also not preschool ready. So I feel like if I get some sort of diagnosis, it would be more beneficial than just throwing him in the public school system where
yeah.
I maybe won't get as much support for him, like as far as one-on-one is concerned.
Yeah, but you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. I've said this before, but I've never once had someone. I've never had someone tell me that they regretted going forward with an autism evaluation. And so, any parents that are ever on the fence of, oh, should I just do it? Should I not? I mean, I've never had someone regret moving forward, regardless of the outcome. Tell me, how are you going to feel if you get the evaluation done and they come back and they tell you that he has autism?
I think it'll be something that'll be hard to stomach a little bit just because this wasn't what I had expected to be our new normal. But um, Dad and I have talked about it, and we're very both on the same page as far as whatever's best for him. I mean, I
Yeah,
work from home, I have him all day. We've tried daycare after daycare after daycare, and it's been a month of having him in daycare, and then something comes up and they request that he be pulled.
yeah,
So we're just trying to find whatever works best for him, will work for us. I know that it's not going to be easy, but um, we're just hopeful at this point to get more help for him because we've tried absolutely everything that we can with there being little benefit.
yeah. Um, Look, there's a lot I want to say to you right now because I talked to a lot of people in your same boat, and I talked to them, the day after they get the evaluation as well. And um, first of all, like you need to have total reassurance. And let me tell you, you are being an amazing parent right now by getting this evaluation done. Regardless of what that outcome is, you are doing the right thing. And so don't ever doubt that. Now, when my son got his evaluation back, I've worked with people with autism for years and years. Okay, I am a board certified behavior analyst doing ABA therapy, and I was in a lot of denial at first when my son was showing signs of autism. And I love people with autism. I love them, but like you said, I mean, it's a shift in what I was expecting for him, and it brings a lot of questions up of what does the future entail for my child? I think the hardest part was when I actually saw it written down on a piece of paper. And, I saw the diagnosis written down, and I had a little bit of a breakdown that day of like, oh my goodness, like this is real. My son has autism. And at that moment, that's where you start the grieving process. There is a little bit of a grieving process when you have a child with autism. It's accepting that your child may have limitations ongoing. To also give you perspective, however, there's a lot of people with autism that with the early intervention, your kid's only 3.5, so young, and so much potential. And so the other bit of advice I want to give you is that an autism diagnosis does not change who your child is. Your child has always been this way. Your child will always be the same boy. And all this is doing is opening the door to supports that he otherwise would not have access to. So you're doing the right thing, but it is hard. I want to invite you to stick around and come back and report. I go live every day. Come back and report when you have the evaluation, and let us know how you're feeling. What other thoughts do you have? Do you have any other questions about the process?
I don't think so. I think that, like you said, like grieving process, like I think it is something in the back of my mind that like I'm trying to mentally prepare for.
Yeah.
That's just me as a person, prepare for what's to come, and hopefully that way when it comes, I know it will be hard, but hopefully it won't be as like punch to the gut. Um, but yeah, I just keep thinking about how we're able to get him in April. If we do get a diagnosis, hopefully it will open up like ABA type of services or one-on-one services a lot quicker to
Yep.
hopefully get him to where he is preschool ready. I mean, he's super smart, but we're just obviously struggling with things, and he's not really a behaviors kid, which I'm super grateful for. But it's just I can tell that we're struggling in areas that, other kids his age maybe don't struggle with as much that I've seen in person with daycares and stuff like that. So I'm trying to just tell myself to not compare. I think that's the biggest thing is like I'm trying to not compare one child, a child to mine, or,
Yeah.
what I see at the park to my kid, or, things like that.
Yeah, you're going to go pretty quickly from trying to make your kid normal to defending your child like crazy. And, that the autism diagnosis or any kind of diagnosis gives you a little bit of that clarity of what's going on. You need to know whether this is autism or not. If your son is having these struggles, it is not a reflection of you and what you've done as a parent. If he has autism, it is not something that you caused. It is not something that you did because of how you parent, or because of medications that you've taken or given him, or food that you've consumed or that he's consumed. And I really need to make sure that you know that and understand that, because you're at the early phase of this journey, and you're going to get a lot of judgment and a lot of comments and a lot of people not understanding. So please remember that throughout this journey, okay?
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing for me to remember because, I mean, a little bit personally about me that obviously nobody knows is I had him at 19.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to not blame myself or think of myself in a negative way as far as could I have been better? If I would have waited a couple years, would things be different? I think that's what's really been hard for me personally is trying to not blame myself because of my age. And I have already obviously dealt with the judgment just because I was 19. I've done that, but I know that there's probably going to be more to come.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you can never win with it, because there's also, like, we know autism is genetic, but there are factors, environmental factors that can build on the genetics to increase the risk of autism. And one of those environmental factors that has been researched is parental age. And the older you are, the higher risk your child is of autism. And so you having your child at 19, if anything, should should reassure you that that it was not something that you did. Not that an older parent is to blame at all, but it's just kind of ironic that there is that judgment. And I mean, even I get it. I've had people tell me that my kid has autism because of the amount of screen time that we allow in our household, or because of the diet that we allow, and his food preferences. And that's just not the way it works. Autism is not something that you catch. It's not something that you that starts when you're older. I mean, autism is the way that your brain developed in utero based on the genetics plus environmental risk factors. And so if your child has autism, you have done nothing wrong. And all this is it's labeling something that is already true and opening the door, like you said, to that additional support like ABA. So thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. Please keep us posted, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was a different experience. I've never done this before, so
I love it.
I
Come
enjoyed
back
it.
up when you have more questions. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You have a good one.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. You too.
All right, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome into the live, you guys. We got a couple hours ahead of us. We were just barely getting started. I hope you're comfortable. Grab some popcorn. I don't know. What do y'all do while you're listening to my stream? Are you doing other things? Are you going on a walk? Are you sitting and just watching and commenting? What are we multitasking today? What are we up to? Is it lunchtime yet? I mean, in Utah, it's not quite, but it's getting there. You crochet and listen. I love that. Having your coffee, going to class, changing diapers, doing dishes, and cooking. Love that. Oh my goodness. Oh, Elizabeth, you're new here. Okay, let me introduce myself. If you're new here, we got a couple hundred people in here. This isn't too bad. Let me break down a little bit about what we do here. This is a safe space for people that have any connection to autism. Whether you have a family member with autism, a child with autism, if you have autism, or if you suspect that your child has autism, or if you just want to learn about autism, this is the place for you. We go live every day for a couple hours. Usually I try to go around 12 p.m. Eastern Time to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. But I'm also the CEO of a company here in Utah that provides services to people with Utah. And sometimes my day gets a little bit hectic. Today I was about 10 minutes late starting the live, just trying to finish up some projects. So if you are new here, please make sure that you're following so that you can see the live next time. The way that we do it is, depending on the day. Today, what I'm feeling, I'm going to talk to the comments and the chat a lot. And so, if you have a good question that is that I feel like would be helpful to bring you up, we're going to bring you up and have a discussion, and I'll talk the rest of the time. One thing that I'm going to ask is if you are a regular, so our amazing moderators, thank you for being here. If you've been here a lot. And you like to come up and have conversations with me, I'm going to ask today that we save the last 15 to 20 minutes of the live to be able to do that. So, if that's okay with all of you guys, Amy, Lexi, Destiny, the people that we had up yesterday, kind of like we did yesterday there at the end. I do like that. And if you've been here a lot and you just like to chat, the last 15 minutes, I'll have people kind of request up if you want to be part of that open dialogue that's not just questions. So, but for right now, let's just jump into questions and supporting each other. Okay. Okay. Rachel says thoughts on melatonin from the group. Rachel, that's a really good question. I'm curious other people's thoughts. If you have a child with autism, type yes in the chat if they take a melatonin supplement on a regular basis. Type no in the chat if they don't. Let's see what people think here. To give some context, people with autism quite often have a hard time sleeping. And as we know, sleep is probably the most important aspect of learning skills, of progressing, of learning to communicate. Sleep is so important. And so we have a lot of people who, melatonin can be a really good supplement to help kids fall asleep. I've even heard that some... and magnesium. I have heard about that. I can't speak on that. I'm not an expert on that one, but definitely consult with the doctor when you're looking to look at medications. And as autism parents, let us not judge each other, please. For if your child takes a more strong medication for sleep, if your child isn't sleeping, that impacts their ability to progress, but it also impacts your ability to rest. You're going to be more prone to burnout. You're going to be more prone to making unsafe decisions for your child. You need sleep just as much as your child does. Okay? And so don't feel bad about working with your doctor on creating a safe plan for your child to help them sleep. For my child, we use melatonin for my 3.5-year-old, and it was amazing. I mean, we had such a good routine. We did everything behaviorally that we needed to. We had this sleep training lamp going on, but he was still staying up, not falling asleep till after midnight, but being in bed starting at 8 p.m. And he'd stay in bed, but he'd be awake, not able to sleep. And so melatonin, as soon as we started giving melatonin, and on a very small amount of melatonin, he started sleeping right away. The melatonin that we use, people have asked me that, so I don't understand fully how this Amazon thing works. I'm new to this, but the link in my bio, my wife helped me add some of the things that we use, and the melatonin that we use is there. But please don't start that unless you've consulted with your doctor. You need to talk to your pediatrician. Really, really learn what you need to do. Don't just take people's advice on the internet. That's coming from someone who's on the internet giving advice. Your child's unique. Your child's different. Talk to your doctor. Yeah, Crystal says my kid is 13 and on clonidine. Yeah, you clonidine. Why can't I think of how to pronounce that? I've said that 100 times. I don't know. But I absolutely, no judgment at all. I mean, what a great thing that we have tools and resources to help our child be more comfortable, which in turn helps you. Here's what I wanted to get at is you need your sleep. You cannot afford to burn out. If you're an autism parent, your child needs you, and doesn't just need you today, doesn't just need you tomorrow, not just for a year, but your child needs you for the next 20 plus years to be there for them, to support them. And if things are really hard right now, we need to make priority and the focus to be, how do we get your life a little bit more easy right now? And sometimes medications and being able to sleep will make it so that you can be there for your child in 20 years. Michelle says, my son just started work for the first time. He's 20. What should I expect? Will he be overwhelmed? Michelle, oh my goodness. You guys, this is a big deal. Michelle, oh my gosh. Your son just started his first job. He's going to be overwhelmed. Look, I don't know your child. But here's how I look at it is people talk about autism as, Michelle says, I'm so excited for him, but scared at the same time. I agree. Michelle, I sent you an invite. If you want to come up, you don't have to, but if you want to come up, I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd love to talk about it. If not, that's okay too. I can share some thoughts. Old gamer, I agree with you. The scariest thing is what will happen after we die. We have to take care of ourselves to live long. We can't do everything all at once. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and we can't afford to burn out right now. Michelle, how are you? Thanks for coming up.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I'm at work, but I just put myself on restroom really quick
Oh,
because this is
perfect.
important to me.
Yes, thank you for doing that. And congratulations. Your son just got his first job. Where's he going to be working at?
So he's gonna be working at a bowling alley. So he does love animals, right? So I kind of wanted to start him off to get used to being around people. So what I did is that we enrolled him into to do volunteer work at an animal shelter to kind of get him to be able to talk to other people. Because to me, he's normal, right?
Yeah.
But when he does speak to other people, you could tell that he has that, he's kind of off.
Yeah.
So that's something that always got me nervous.
Yeah.
But no, hopefully with that base, that foundation that we built with him going to the animal shelter and talking to different people and getting him out of that comfort zone, hopefully prepared him for work. So he's gonna be working at a bowling alley. He's kind of be like a server. So I know he needs to talk more to people.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me nervous.
I love it. Okay, I have so many thoughts for you, Michelle. First of all, we're all excited with you. I saw everyone in the chat congratulating you. This is a big step. And I have a couple thoughts. Okay, a couple of our clinics we prioritize helping teens and adults, and a lot of what we do is helping people get jobs. And here's what I see time and time again with people with autism trying to start working is this analogy that I use sometimes really applies here. Of what it feels like to have autism is that you are on stage performing in a play, and everyone's watching you, and the other actors in the play all know the script, they have it memorized, but you don't have your lines, and you're trying to make it up on the spot, and you're scared, and people laugh at you, people look at you because you don't say something or because you do say something. And that's how a lot of people with autism feel. And so that first day on the job, when they've never done that before, it's a new situation, they don't have their script down. They don't know their script, and they feel like everyone else, all the other employees there, all the other workers there, have their script. And so when you talk to him after he comes home, really digest what the day looked like for him. Give him a safe space to talk about it. Of was there anything that made you scared? Anything that went well, that didn't go well, and you can even practice with him some of the things of like, oh, I didn't like when people talked to me about this. I didn't know how to answer it. You can practice. You can role play. What you see is the more time that he spends doing that job, the more comfortable he's going to be. And pretty soon, days that he doesn't go to his job are going to be the hard days. And so it's going to go great. It's going to go great. Come back and let us know how it goes. The other thing I want to tell you, one more thing, is remember that your son has so many rights under ADA. Having autism opens the door to where his employer is required by law to provide reasonable accommodations to help him be successful. If there is anything related to his disability, to his autism, that the employer does not like, they need to accommodate and support. They cannot mistreat him, discipline him, or fire him for those things. And so just please remember that he has rights, and help him. If there's something that would help him be more successful, that is reasonable for the work to do, please help him advocate for that.
Okay, no, I will. But thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Like I said, I'm excited for him, but at the same time, I'm like nervous and scared, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's a big deal. He's gonna surprise you. Like, this is one of those moments that puts him out of his comfort zone and pushes him to grow. And whether it like, even if he quits today, I mean, this was a huge leap for him. It was a huge success. And your whole role right now is just be proud of him, whatever happens. Okay?
Will do. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
Of
And thank you,
course.
everybody, for the comment.
Thank you so much for coming up. Please keep us posted. Come back and let us know.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day,
Thank
everybody.
you. Troy, you have a lot of good questions. It kind of looks like you're yelling at us, though, with the all caps. But I'll address it. What's the cause of autism and why the explosion of autism? Well, the autism diagnosing has exploded. Autism itself has always been around. It's always here. It's always been here. But people just weren't diagnosed before. But it's always been here. Sabora, I heard about this. Did you guys hear about this? In the UK, they have paused referrals for autism in many parts of the UK. I need to read more into this. Sabora, do you have context on this? Why are they doing this? I heard something about too many referrals, that they can't keep up with it. That's scary. That's scary. It's frustrating. I hope there's other options. I'm not in the UK. I'm not in the UK, and so I don't have a whole lot of context for it, but I'm frustrated for you. Canada has had some recent issues as well. Anyone from Canada here? Troy, not true, false. I went to school in the 70s and 80s. Autism was non-existent. Troy, do you want to know why you didn't see it? Do you want to know why? Do you know what happened to kids with profound autism in the 70s and 80s? Do you know, Troy? Go ahead, tell us. What happened to kids with profound autism in the 70s and 80s? When parents needed support with their kids, instead of funding services, getting them a diagnosis, they were removed from their homes and put into institutions. They were institutionalized. If you didn't live in an institution, you did not see them. And this isn't like a fancy institution. We're talking they'd cram 100 kids into a basement with one staff member to take care of all 100 of those kids while people are sitting in their feces, okay? That's where people with autism were. That's where people with autism were. There has not been an increase in autism. The autism diagnosis that we have right now only came out in 2013. They didn't even have the diagnosis back then, the same diagnosis. Today, the diagnosis that we have encompasses a broader range of people. And so, yes, autism rates are going through the roof, 1 in 31. That doesn't mean profound autism of people who can't speak into adulthood has changed or increased. But we're recognizing that there's a group of people that need a little more support, and we're pinpointing it better. Ross says there are videos online from back then, so upsetting. It's disgusting to see. I hate it. Troy, I've explained it to you. I encourage you to stay positive here on this live. You can disagree, but the moment that you are rude, my mods are going to block you. So just be kind, be understanding, and recognize that you have some ignorance. And that's okay. Ignorance isn't an insult. I'm not insulting you. I'm saying that there are some things that you don't know. There are some things that you don't know. The rate has increased in getting diagnosed because we have more services available. We have more awareness. The diagnosing has expanded, but it's not that people are truly more autism is going on. So, General says, are there different types of autism? That's a really good question. And then you ask what kind mine is. I don't think that I have autism as far as I'm aware of, but there are different types of autism. They have levels. So there's 3 different levels: level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 3 is what is also known as profound autism. Some people are pushing to have that be a separate diagnosis. And a lot of times level 3 refers to high support needs. Level 2 is moderate support needs, and level 1 is low support needs. And so the thing about levels, though, is it's not a lifelong category that you fall into, and it's pretty subjective. The clinician just kind of decides where your child falls in the levels. And so and other countries like UK, I see some comments there, and some professionals in the US don't even use the levels. So, Steven says, do you think level 1 will be taken out? I don't think so. I think we have what we need, and I am grateful that we are noticing autism more often. Something that the Dr. Tracy came on with me yesterday and explained something very fascinating, that doctors are screening for autism like they never have. All pediatricians screen for autism at 18 months and 24 months. Back in the 70s and 80s, like people like to talk about, no one was screening for autism. There was such a stigma around it. If your kid didn't talk, you just kept them home and didn't say anything. You were forced to be quiet until, they were just the troublemakers or the weird kids because they never got support. So, all right. Twin Mama says, I want everyone to get services. It shouldn't be so hard and difficult. It's horrible. I agree, Twin Mama. I agree. Gavin says, do you think autism is caused from the injections kids have as a baby? I have an autistic son. Gavin, that's a good question, and this is one we do have very convincing data on. They have studied millions of children across their vaccination schedules, and there has been no correlation between autism and vaccinations. There are anecdotes, and I feel for families that go through this because my daughter's going through this right now, that kids sometimes when they start showing autism symptoms, they regress. They stop responding to their name. They stop communicating, and it almost looks like something happened to them. But we have to understand that development is not linear. It's not a straight line. And kids with autism, they were born that way. Their brain developed in utero with autism. This isn't something they caught after birth, okay? It's important to know that. And again, this is not a debate platform, you guys. If you're disagreeing, if you have different thoughts, just be respectful with it, guys. Please understand that most of the viewers here, let's do this. If you're an autism parent, put 1 in the chat. Put 1 in the chat if you're an autism parent. These are, and if you have autism, put 2 in the chat. Let's look at this, you guys. We have a lot of autism parents here. And when you come in, and if you're especially not an autism parent, and you start sharing misinformation, it impacts real people who have children who need real support right now. This isn't some abstract concept that we're going to have debates about. This is real people who need support, who need real help, and the misinformation causes real damage. This isn't something we're debating here. You can disagree and you can share your thoughts, and we're not going to ban you unless you're just being rude. But we support each other here. We support each other here. Bobby says, is there a medical test that can confirm if someone has autism? That's a really good question. So the test is through the ADOS or the CARS, and it is based on behavior. It's observations. The reason for that is autism is polygenic, meaning it comes from multiple genes, some of which have not yet been identified. Hundreds of genes factor into how the brain develops, involving autism that we've already identified. And so you can do genetic tests and see if there's like a predisposition for some of these genes. But autism is a combination of these genetic components, this polygenic factors, as well as environmental factors. And so there are very real environmental factors that increase the risk that your child is going to have autism. And some of those risk factors include infection of the mother during pregnancy, or trauma during birth. It can also include advanced parental age, so older parents having babies. Pollution and wildfire smoke has been shown to be a risk factor. And so it's genetic, but then these risk factors elevate that risk, the genetic risk. So Phoebe says, my brother is level 1. My husband is undiagnosed with issues keeping jobs. How can I help them? Phoebe, I just sent you a guest invite. If you want to come up, please do. And while you think about coming up, just know this is a safe space. People are nice or else we kick them. Guys, that's right? We're nice or else you get muted. Phoebe, how are you doing?
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me up.
Of course. So where do you live?
I'm in New York City.
Oh, are you? Oh my goodness. I have a question. How has the weather been in New York City? Have you been getting a lot of snow this year?
We got a terrible blizzard that we had a lot of fun playing in, and then it all turned to ice, and then the ice turned black, and now it's all melted. It's a very schizophrenic weather scheme, but
Yeah.
very extreme. But we're eager for the black ice to melt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel that. I'm in Utah, and usually we have so much snow. I mean, 2002 we had the Winter Olympics here, and we're looking at having them again. and it has not snowed a single time this entire winter, to the point that I've had to shovel the snow. And usually there's about 20 storms in a year that we have to shovel. And so it has been really weird this year. Anyway, thought I'd ask. Well, tell us all a little bit about your situation.
Well, I know that my mother-in-law, my husband's mother, she is undiagnosed, but it's pretty evident that she's autistic, and she identifies as autistic. And we listen to her rhythms, and I understand that what to others seem, I think she gets misunderstood a lot as being selfish and unreasonable, but her rhythms and her needs and the things that she fixates on are really like a banister in her life. And so they need to be respected. My husband is not as extreme, but I do think that he's autistic. He has difficulty. He's very brilliant with certain things, and then others that just seem so. He gets misunderstood a lot, and it's cost him jobs. It makes it difficult for him to secure employment. So
Has he ever
I
brought up
am
autism to you, or is this something you've observed?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Has he brought up that he wonders if he has autism?
He
Or is this
doesn't
something
want
you've
to
just observed?
face it. It is
Yeah.
definitely something we talk about.
Okay.
He doesn't want to be labeled, and I understand that. And I don't think that the labels are helpful either.
Yeah.
But there is sort of like understanding and navigating,
And
and
validation.
I don't think,
I mean,
yeah,
imagine
validate.
losing your job, and if it was something related to autism and you had that diagnosis, I talked about this earlier. There's rights that you have due to a disability that that you're able to advocate for yourself for, and say, hey, look, I know I wasn't able to complete this task, but I have autism and require training in this certain way that's reasonable for you as an employer to do. And it can save jobs. It can help you understand yourself better. And I know you understand this. But tell me a little bit. Did you say it was your daughter who has autism?
Oh no, my mother-in-law,
Oh,
my husband are undiagnosed, but I operate with them uh, through the understanding that they do. And my brother, however, has been diagnosed with level 1 autism,
oh,
which
wow. Okay.
explains a lot, his rages and his inability to connect to certain systems, like in jobs, has been looked at as character flaws.
Yeah. What are some of the things? Do you
And
know some of the details of why he was laid off at those jobs? Why he was fired?
my brother,
No. Oh, sorry. I meant your
my
husband.
husband,
Yeah.
he lacks intuition. He needs to be taught in a specific way that's very sequential, that seem obvious to others, that sort of are thrown into a job and you kind of figure it out. And it has led to him being thrown off of he always says the same thing. No one ever explained it to me. No one told me. No one gave me instruction. And it's the kind of instruction that seems very fundamental, and a lot of people skip, and they get impatient with it, and they lay him off, or they fire him on the site.
Yeah. Did you were you in here when I was sharing the thought about what it's like to have autism and to be on stage? Were you here, or did you
No,
hop in after that? Okay.
I hopped in after.
Let me tell you an analogy that might describe your husband a little bit, and it's what I'm hearing, that a lot of people with autism feel like they are performing on stage and everyone else has a script and knows what they're doing, but you do not, and you don't have a script. And people pause for you to say your lines, and you don't know what your lines are. You say things when you shouldn't, and you don't say things when you should, and you just feel out of place and unsure of what you should be doing in a situation. And it's one of my favorite explanations of how some people with
Wow.
autism experience the world, because it kind of explains, like, what your husband was going through was like Yeah, like everyone else, it seemed like it was common knowledge. They had the script. They knew there was common knowledge to do this, 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 and that. And it's not that your
Yeah.
husband is less intelligent, but the way
Right.
that his brain works is that he might need a script. And a script in the
Yes.
sense of like a line by line, step by step instruction for how to do things without having to infer the steps like some other employees do. And so
Yes.
that is, I mean, I think your husband understanding that about himself should be freeing. But I also understand that would be a lot to accept for yourself, that you have autism. So my recommendation to you is it's going to be best for your relationship with your husband to not push it too much, to make sure that he knows that he is loved, whether or not it doesn't change a thing if he has a diagnosis, but he needs to know that you support him and will help him with it if he wants to. That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Thank you. It's it's simple but sound and really helpful directional advice, because impatience or exasperation can certainly tempt me, because we're grown-ups now, and it's a tough economy, and I need to lean on my partner,
Yeah.
but I don't want to lean on my partner abusively. So how do
Yeah.
I help with somebody who I know is impacted and doesn't want to go through the process of diagnosis? So that's
It's so
very
hard.
helpful.
It is so hard. And yeah, I just hope that you can get through this and have some patience with him. And I hope he can come around and try to get some answers for himself, because I think if anything, it should, if he's in a place where he's open to it, it is going to be very validating for him. Very validating. So,
Okay.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming up. You have a good day.
You too.
All right. Have a good one. All right, everybody, welcome in. Thank you for being here today. We're already at 22,000 likes, and we're 46 minutes into this. Just for context, my all-time record for my 2 hours of live that I do is 134,000 likes. And so if we want to be breaking that record, we can be tapping that screen. But even just the little bit of taps, if everyone just does 10 taps right now, it gets it out to more people. We have 270 people in here. That's not bad at all. That's a great community here. A little bit about myself. I go live every day for about 2 hours. I do this because I have a son. I have a 3.5-year-old son with autism. If you go look at my post, I just posted a video of him talking. I don't know. I don't think I can quite say that he's fully verbal yet, but man, my boy is making progress, and he's making me a proud dad. He answered a question for the first time ever about 4 weeks ago, and the question was, "What's your name?" And he could answer it. There's about 5 or 6 questions now that we've been working on with him, and the school's been working on, and ABA has been working on, and he has a few more questions that he can answer. And so I'm here because I'm a proud dad. I'm also here because things are hard. I cry often. I am overwhelmed. I'm burned out. And this community here has helped me a lot. And so I'm very appreciative of everyone here. I'm also a BCBA, so I've worked the past 13 years with people with disabilities, including autism. Currently, I'm the CEO here in Utah of a autism supports company, and that's me. That's my life. But I use every excuse I can to be here on live, and I'm not afraid to say that I don't know something. Mixa says, "Did you hear about Cortexin?" And that's one of those things I don't know what you're talking about with it. Let me do a quick research and see what this is. Let's see. Many parents with children with disabilities suffer from depression. Yeah. Guys, can I be real with you for a minute? Can I be real? No judgment, right? Do you see how this says no judgment? That means I don't judge, but that also means you guys can't judge me, okay? This challenge, the past year has been a real challenge for me. It's more of like not having enough time to recover, and that burnout factor. And it has led me to develop a bit of panic disorder, of having panic attacks on occasion. And I'm not proud of it, but I'm also not embarrassed by it, because I recognize it's the reality of having a challenging life and having kids that might need more supports, while also trying to navigate work and trying to navigate 3 other kids. And I mean, we're just kind of trying to stay afloat, a lot of us. And I just want to encourage you guys, if you've been feeling that, if you feel anxiety or depression coming on, and you're the parent of a child with autism, don't wait for a breaking point to seek help. Go to therapy. Go to therapy. Talk to your doctor about medications that could help, and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I've never had a hobby until a few months ago. I'm embarrassed to say that as an adult, my hobby has always been work and family. And people say, "Oh, what do you do for fun?" I never had an answer. And in recommendations of my therapist, I started a hobby. I want to hear from you guys. What hobbies do you have? What do you do if you're an autism parent, or if you have autism or not? What are your hobbies? I started a hobby, and this is going to be, I'm going to sound like an old man now, but I picked up golfing, which I am terrible. I am so bad at golfing, but I've been having so much fun with it. Just to go out there and hit the ball as hard as I can. There's something therapeutic about it. And I don't get a lot of time. I actually wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning so that I can get 30 minutes of golfing in at a local little cheap simulator place in my neighborhood. And it gets me going. I have a little bit of a time in the morning where it's just me doing something I enjoy. And yeah, crafting. He says I don't do anything. Guys, here's something I've noticed. Okay, here's something I've noticed. Oftentimes, men end up having hobbies like golf, like I just talked about, fishing, hunting. Things that get them out of the house, okay? And then I see mothers who their hobbies tend to be things that benefit the children or benefit the home. I hear mothers say, I like to cook. I enjoy cleaning. I enjoy organizing. I enjoy sewing my children clothes. And that's not bad, okay? I'm not saying that you can't do that, but what I want is for everybody, whether you're a man or a woman, to feel like you can have a hobby outside of the home that doesn't benefit your family or your children. I want that for you guys. I want that for you. If you replied on here and you said you don't have a hobby, I want you to get a hobby, okay? I want you to have a hobby. Get into, Amy just talked about gaming and movies, and get into something. Have a hobby and work it out with your partner or your village so that you can make time, because if you don't, you will burn out. Yeah, you don't have time for a hobby. Even just a teeny bit, an hour a week of doing something that you enjoy, that you truly enjoy. Please do it. EJ says neurotypical needs are prioritized as neurodivergent needs are invalidated. Oh, that is, man, EJ, I feel like you've been on here before and you've had some big quotes, here. Neurotypical needs are prioritized as neurodivergent needs are invalidated. Oh man, I feel that. Thank you for sharing that. Elizabeth says, I love doing comedy videos on TikTok. Hey, I'm going to have to check that out. I love that. Guys, go check out Elizabeth's TikTok. We support each other on here. If you guys have a TikTok that you're trying to grow or anything, feel free to comment about it. That's a hobby. That's fun. This has kind of been a hobby for me too. This is something I enjoy. Alicia says, I try to find crafting hobbies or class to go to outside of the house once a month. Alicia, that's what I'm talking about. Guys, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Outside of the house. Caitlin says, I just have no interest. I think that's tied to my depression, but just no motivation lately. Caitlin, depression's a vicious cycle. I'm no expert. I'm not a therapist, but it's a vicious cycle because the more you don't do things, the worse the depression gets, which makes it harder to start. And so you get trapped into this cycle, and it's very real and difficult. So I feel you. My wife has a group of neurodivergent moms. They do outside of the house stuff together. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love lifting and working out. It helps regulate my nervous system and scratches my brain. Anna, I love that. Thank you. I share that, or I love that. I wish that I shared that love of working out. Jennifer says spa day or pamper day makes me feel better as a mom. Yes. And Amy, thank you for bringing up the Discord. We do have a Discord, you guys. Please join it. Link is in my bio. And it's a support area. These lives are only 2 hours. And so if we need support outside of this, it's a good group to be on. Brooklyn, I am not autistic as far as I know. But if I was, I wouldn't be embarrassed by it. Humbu says, what to tell patients who won't vaccinate kids because of links to autism. Humbu, that is so hard, and I wish Dr. Tracy were on here to guide you. Are you a nurse? Because what's hard is you can know what you think is best for someone, but people have choice over their bodies, and so we can't force them. But I think the biggest thing is when people ask about it, being able to have the resources available, find the citations that talk about the safety of the vaccines. I have a hard time with it because I see it from their point of view of the anecdotal evidence that they see or people have seen. But when you look at the data, widespread vaccines definitely do not cause autism. Chiara, that is a good question. How do I help regulate my son when he has a meltdown? I have a lot I can say about it. For some reason, it's not letting me send you an invite to come up here. I was going to see if you wanted to. You can hit request if you want to. But I'll talk a little bit about it, Chiara. Children with autism, I think the first thing we need to understand about people with autism is a little bit about how their brain works. It gives us some empathy for when our child has a meltdown. And the way the autistic brain works is many people with autism is when any baby is born, there are in the brain there are synapses, there are connections happening in the brain that tell you from the environment and how your body should respond. And so there's connections in the brain of anything that happens. And as your baby grows and gets older, those connections start to go away because a lot of them you don't need. And so let me ask you this, for the 200 people on here, can you feel were you thinking about your sock on your left foot before I just said this? No, you weren't. Your brain was able to filter that out. It's a process called pruning. And there are lights all over, there's noises, and our brain filters it out. And people with autism, many people with autism have a hard time pruning. So their brain, everything feels loud. Imagine being able to feel the shoes on your feet, the socks on your feet, your pants, all of your clothes, every single light, everything. The world is loud. The world is challenging. And then on top of that, make it so it's difficult to communicate your needs. I mean, these meltdowns, I understand quite often why they happen. The meltdowns, I understand. And the moment that you can understand, the easier it is for you to have empathy in the moment. Because the best thing you can do to help regulate your child during a meltdown is for you to remain calm. There's two things I want to say. One, if they're engaging in problem behavior, if they're hitting or doing things, being sad and overwhelmed isn't a problem behavior. But if they're engaging in a problem behavior, then we're not going to give in to what they want. If they're hitting you because you said no to something, we're not going to change our mind to just calm them down. Okay, so don't reinforce problem behavior, but we need to be as comforting as possible. We need to create an environment where they know that we're calm and they can co-regulate with us. Elizabeth says, yeah, if you get upset, they will get upset more. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why there's a lot of reasons why I advise parents never spank your kids. And part of that is because it doesn't regulate their emotions. It is what I like to say lazy. It is lazy parenting to spank your kids. It's a lot harder to say, hey, what does my kid need right now? And how can I help them get that need in an appropriate way? Yenny, that's a great question. How can I tell the difference between speech delay and autism? Hey, if you want to come up, I'd love to talk about that with you. I just sent you an invite. That's a really good question. Speech delay versus autism, and what's the difference? You don't have to if it makes you nervous to come up, but it's a good thing to talk about. Let's see. Isabel says, my son has had a meltdown in school, but with me, I have never seen it. Yeah. Well, I believe that the school is likely seeing that, but it sounds like he's having a hard time regulating at school. I wonder how we can help with that. Yeah, AIM brought up a good point. There's a lot of demands at school. Does he have an IEP? That would be my first question. There's a lot of rights that come with having an IEP and creating an environment where your child is actually safe and is best suited for them. So that's my first recommendation. Does your child have an IEP? And what's in it to ensure that they have low demands or a safe environment, anything that's causing those meltdowns. One of the big things that I would do is look at, ask the IEP for a behavior plan and have them do a functional behavior assessment, an FBA. And that can give you some insight into what the circumstances are around having a meltdown at school. Let's see. Veronica says, how can I help my nephew with his anxiety issues he's been experiencing? Does your nephew have autism? Tiffany in Siena says, is learning comprehension a part of it? She's 7, can't learn her ABCs. Tiffany, if you want to come up, I just sent you an invite. Kath says, my son is about to get an FBA. If I ever send you guys invites and you don't want to come up, you do not have to accept, but I like having these conversations. Tiffany, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you calling in from? Where are you based out of?
California.
Oh, wonderful. California. Well,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your situation.
My daughter, I mentioned it earlier. She was diagnosed like right after she turned 2. She was diagnosed when they were doing the video. The video diagnoses.
Yeah.
But they said those were actually more accurate because the kids are in their own environment at home and they can actually see how they are in their comfortable environment versus taking them into a doctor's office where they're going to be, dysregulated and everything. She is 7. She turned 7 in December. And her learning comprehension, I homeschool just because a lot of factors just here in California and stuff. And I just feel like I can, I'm a stay-at-home mom right now and I feel like I can. No judgment for those that can't. But she cannot comprehend. One day she'll know, 70% of her ABCs and the next day she's down to 20% again. She can't figure out the sounds of the ABCs. So, she should be on track for reading right now. But until me and her school get that down, she can't.
Let me
it's
ask
very
you this.
frustrating.
Let me ask you this, because in my opinion, okay, and this is gonna, if you're a teacher here, you're gonna get mad at me. But I don't believe learning to say the ABCs is very important compared to many other things that our kids need to learn. And so I'm curious about some of these other things. Is she able to express her wants and needs?
She's verbal, yes.
Okay.
But she wasn't for a while, but she is now. It's just she's very high, like you were talking about the sensory issue. Like, are we thinking about our sock? So that kind of put it in a little bit more perspective for me because, it's just she's very sensory overload. Like she won't wear jeans. She always has to take her socks off. Her thing is she does communicate, but there's a lot of things she doesn't know how to communicate. So if she gets frustrated and say we're in a restaurant, she'll just start screaming.
Yeah.
She'll throw her toy down, run off. We went to the dentist yesterday. And she just hopped out of the chair, and the lady was in her mouth, and I was right there, but she hopped out of the chair and just went and slammed the door and came back in. She didn't want people looking at her, but instead of, voicing mom, can you shut the, it was like she had to physically, things like that. So the lady was very in shock, but I just said, remember, she's on the spectrum. Like, I didn't even know she was going to go do that, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, hearing some of this, of what you're going through, I want to ease your mind a little bit right now and say that her knowing how to say the ABCs is so minor. It's so small. And we can overwhelm ourselves as parents of all the things that our children need to know and need to learn. Is your child in any kind of therapies right now?
Yeah, so she's in speech and occupational therapy.
Okay. And do you know what goals they're working on right now?
They're basically working on little things like how to hold a pencil right, tracing, because it's very hard for her to even trace. She's like all off the lines.
Yeah.
Learning on trying to help her to, instead of recognizing her ABCs, because they said that's not as important, trying to know the sounds. Because there's a lot of sounds that she can't make as well when she, like for tablet, she'll say tablet. There's a lot of sounds that she can't do as well. I did get her hearing checked when she was younger, but I am going to go do that again just to double check everything. Just because I was thinking maybe it's more of like she can't hear as well, so it's making her comprehension different. But, I think it also is, as parents, we have a lot on us and we do compare. Because I'm like, my friend's kid's 4 and she knows all her ABCs, and my friend's kid's 5 and she can read, so sometimes it's really hard.
Yeah, but also learning isn't linear. My son knew his ABCs when he was 1 year old, but he still doesn't respond when I say his name. Like, like every kid kind of picks what they learn, what they focus on, and I mean, at age 7, like they should probably be starting to read. A lot of 7-year-olds know how to read. There is my favorite strategy for anyone who is curious. My favorite strategy for working on reading, when that's the desired goal. If you were in ABA, my advice would be a little bit different, because what I believe needs to happen is your child needs a thorough assessment on skills and development to know what to target next in their goals. Because sometimes, like, our child can't go out in public without having a tantrum, and then we're sitting there focusing on how to hold a pencil. And like, we really need to prioritize the things that are impacting our child the most. And that impacts learning. If you can't be comfortable in the classroom without having a meltdown, you're not going to be able to learn in the classroom. So as far as reading goes, though, I'm going to actually add this to my, let's see, to my Amazon. Let me see if I can find it.
I actually just found you. I'm really glad I did, because I'm always trying to explore ways to better understand my daughter. And we are.
How did you find me? Was it on your? Was it on your?
Just on my feed.
For you page?
Probably because I look up stuff for autism.
I
you
love
were.
that. Thank you for stopping in. I go live every day. I have a lot of fun with it. Let's see here. Okay, so my background, I'm a BCBA. I've taught a lot of kids to read, and this is the method I use for my own children. And oh man, my Amazon is being such a pain. 1 second, you guys. I want to have this set up so you guys can go and check it out. I want to add it to the list so it's easy to find. Okay.
And sometimes it's so frustrating because no matter how, I'm very open. I know some parents aren't very open about their kid being on the spectrum. I'm a very open person. So my daughter knows, because I don't want her to feel like her feelings aren't justified. So my daughter knows. And I know some people don't tell their kids and their kids have no idea. I have a nephew and his parents don't tell him. So he has no idea. But I'm like, how's that going to help them in the future? And they were also in denial. I knew he had autism before they did. And he's 2 years older than my daughter. And so I knew even before my daughter was diagnosed. And I really knew nothing
Wow.
about it. They were in denial. So he's 9 now. And, he just got diagnosed last year. And it's just so
Wow.
sad because he could be getting so much more help. But because they were in denial, and I know I don't say anything against his parents. It's just some parents have a hard time, worse time handling it than others. And, for me, it's like I'm very open with everybody. We go somewhere, she starts, and it's not that I'm justifying her behavior, but I want them to kind of try to see things from her perspective, if that makes sense, and try to see, like, she's not just a kid that's just out here horrible, acting bad because she's at anger issues and she's spoiled,
You are speaking my language. You are spot on here. I mean, your daughter is so lucky to have you with that
Well, thank
perspective.
you.
I mean, you are truly creating an environment where your child is most likely to succeed. For those who are curious about reading, wanting to help your child to read, my favorite book is called Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. It is by Siegfried Engelmann. I added it in my link to my Amazon book. It's like $15. And the reason I like it is because it doesn't start by teaching them the ABCs. It starts, and in English is so hard to read because the letter E has so many different sounds that it could make. The letter A has so many sounds that it could make. And so what this
Yes,
book,
and that's what I was thinking when I was trying to teach her. Like, how if
yes,
she learns differently, how is she going to learn this? If I'm trying to tell her the sound for all, A is all, but it's also a, and it's also
yes.
this and that for almost every letter. So to me, I'm like, how is she going to learn? This is so overly stimulating.
Okay, so what this book does, and it's science-backed, it is evidence researched. I mean, it is amazing, okay? What it does is it instead of just having all the letters of the alphabet, they have they slightly modify the letter depending on what it sounds like. And so and that's how it starts, as it starts introducing. By the end, all the letters have phased out and it looks totally normal. And so it uses like this really, really cool evidence-based approach to teaching people to read. And the best part about it is it gives you your exact script. So you sit down with your child for about 15 minutes a day and you go through the exact script. It tells you everything to say. It's in for those wondering what it's called, Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons by Siegfried Engelmann.
And it's in your link, so I would just go to your profile and I could order it through there.
Yeah. I just added it to my Amazon link so people can find it easier. And I have this book, I own this book, and I use it for all my kids. I use it for the clients I'm working with to teach how to read. And it makes it so, that learning what the letters are called matters very little. But in reading, you do need to know what the sounds are. And it starts very basic, and it's incredible. Check it out if you're trying to work on reading with your kids. I have found it very helpful. Anyway, but more important than this, okay, this is me trying to solve a problem of teaching your kid to read when I think you need to give yourself a little bit of grace here. And the way that you talked about your daughter and accepting her exactly how she is, I mean, that is absolutely incredible. And I want you to feel the relief of knowing that you have already done everything that you need to do for your daughter. And if she has a hard time learning something, that's okay. It doesn't reflect you as a parent. It doesn't speak to, you've given her too much screen time, or you haven't talked to her enough, or you haven't supported her enough. She has real challenges, and you've already gone above and beyond to get her therapy and care that she needs. And so please go easy on yourself, okay?
Okay, thank you. I have one more question
Of
before
course.
I go. Um, so we're trying to work on getting her back into ABA. She had it, but just insurance has changed and all that, and a lot of things are full around me, and they were coming to the house. So I'm kind of torn on ABA because I've heard a lot of negative things about it. And she was so young when she had it before. But now it's like I hear that they try to make the kids mask, and I don't want to do that for my daughter. If she wants to stim and it's not bothering anybody, like her humming and this and that, I don't want her to feel like she can't be herself in public. And the lady that was talking about ABA is like, well, there's a place for it. She shouldn't be doing that when you're out at a restaurant. She needs to know when she can and when she can't. And I don't want to put her in ABA because she said I'm setting her up for failure if I don't do ABA. So for me,
Wait,
it's
this
like
ABA provide. Wait, I wanna
I don't
make sure
want
I'm
her to
hearing this
mask.
right. Your ABA provider, the behavior analyst or whoever was with you, told you they needed to address stimming because it's not appropriate in some settings. Is that what they did?
Yes, and I don't want
No.
to mask my daughter. If it's not bothering anybody, why should she be having to hide what makes her
I would
feel
have I
better
would have
or
fired
happy?
that BCBA so fast. I would have fired that BCBA so fast. And this is me. This is coming from someone who I'm a BCBA. I am the CEO of a company that does ABA throughout Utah, and that is totally unacceptable to force masking. Now there are times like if your child is hitting their head and it's dangerous, then we
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
we want to understand like the sensory needs behind it and how do we help them stim in a way that is safe. And so you're spot on. That behavior analyst was out of line and practicing old school behavior analysis, and that is not reflective of how most professionals within ABA are operating today. It is very, very much more neuroaffirming. And if you do get any pushback on that of someone wanting to address stimming or something like that, I mean that is absolutely sign that you need to go with a new ABA provider. The thing I like to look at is what is developmentally appropriate, and we have a lot of ABA companies even now that they start by teaching your kid how to make eye contact and teaching your kid how to sit at a table. And like a 2-year-old doesn't need to know how to do those things. A 2-year-old can't sit still at a table. No 2-year-old can, whether they have autism or not. And so I think there's a couple problems here. One is when an ABA company wants to reinforce masking, that is a problem. And then the other problem is when the ABA company wants to what was it? I don't even remember. There was another problem, but I don't know what it was. Masking, and then what was the other thing I was talking about? Developmentally appropriate. Yeah. So it's a problem if they mask. It's a problem if they teach skills that have higher expectations than those we put on neurotypical people.
Okay.
So those are 2 red flags. When I talk about the autism journey of parents, okay, I kind of have divided it out into a few parts. It starts with building your own village, having support. Then you get your diagnosis. And then this step 3, which is where you're at, this part 3 of the journey is building your care team. And with that comes a responsibility of finding the best of the best for your child. And it doesn't mean like any ABA is okay in what we recommend. It is you find someone that understands your child's unique needs and can support them in the way that your child needs. And that can take a lot of work to find that right person. And so build your care team. I say don't give up on ABA, okay? Your concerns were 100% valid, but you should know as the care team coordinator for your daughter, you're able to be picky and say, I'd rather my child not get this therapy than to get it in a way that tries to change who they are.
Okay, that makes sense. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and bring me up here. And
Of
I'll go
course.
ahead and I've been on a while. I'll let somebody else come up. I know there's some people that want to come up and talk to
No
you.
problem at
So
all. Thank you so much. You
I
have a great
appreciate
day.
it.
All right.
You too.
Bye.
Okay.
All right, everybody. We are an hour and 20 minutes into this, and it has been a wonderful stream. It's been a great day, you guys. I'm feeling good. I see about 200 people on here, and let me just do a little bit of an introduction. If you're not following me yet, go ahead and hit me a follow. We do these lives daily for about 2 hours. We answer questions. We support each other. We're positive to each other. And we are getting to the point of this live, and it's a little bit earlier, but if you are one of our regulars, and if you guys know our regulars, feel free to tag them and say who you want to have come up here. But I think it's time to get some of our regulars up here, some of the people we love to hear from, some of the people that have been instrumental to this community here. So Lexi and Amy, if you guys want to come up, if there's anyone else that wants to, that is, let's see here, kind of a regular. We'll get some more people in here. Hey, Lexi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Hey, Amy, good to see you. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. How are both of you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Lexi, what's your update?
Okay, so two things. First, I want to ask you, are you okay? Because you looked at the beginning of the live, you looked a little down, and I was like, this is not the normal Kylan that I'm used to.
No,
So,
I'm
so I
good.
was like, I'm gonna
might
ask
have been
him.
flustered. Thank you for caring about me. And yeah, I'm pretty good. I was up really early this morning, so something that a lot of people. I'm wondering how much I'm allowed to talk about this. I'm in the middle of a business deal with a company I owned a while back. I won't get into details. And I had to wake up, before 5 a.m. today to jump right into work and go through some hard things. So I'm stressed, but I'm not in a bad place. So thank you for your concern.
You're welcome. I was just like, he looked a little stressed, and I was like, maybe he's not doing okay. And I know you ask us all the time how we're doing, but I do realize that sometimes we don't ask you. And you're going through the same battles that we're going through. And I just wanted to know that as much as you care about us, we care about you too. So I just wanted to make sure that if you were having a hard day, you could talk to us, because we don't judge you. None of us on here judge you. And we're very happy that you created this space for all of these family members and everybody wanting to know about autism. And I just want to make sure you're okay.
Well, thank you for that. I will share something then. You opened up a safe space for me. Yesterday I was having a little bit of a hard time, and I expressed this in a way. Okay, when I'm having a hard time, quite often I film myself with no intent of, like, I don't plan on sharing it, but I film it and I can review it later with my therapist and talk about like how I'm feeling. And I made a video of me talking about this, of how I really liked how I phrased it, that yesterday, the way I was feeling, and I think it's carried over a little bit. I feel like I have the weight, just with managing my kids and managing, my business and everything. It feels like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders, but also at times like my back is breaking. And I know I'm not the only one that feels like that. I think all of us who are supporting people with disabilities feel that. But man, the weight is heavy. The weight is heavy taking care of everything. And
yeah, I could definitely tell that you were a little bit off yesterday. And it although it concerns me as your friend, I genuinely understand. I feel like sometimes you just hit that point where you're like, I can't, how do I keep going, like, and a lot of people ask, I think, how do you guys do it? How do you guys carry everything? And the answer, honestly and simply, is we just do. It's what we have ourselves to do.
That's
we don't have any other choice.
Yeah. I mean, what's the alternative, right? What's the alternative?
But I'm glad you are doing better today. I hope your lovely wife is feeling better today as well. I know she's going through her battle.
Yeah, she's recovering. Brooklyn, are you in here? Brooklyn should come up here sometimes.
She should.
Yes, I would love to hear from her.
She listens a lot, but she's. If you're here, Brooklyn,
I did see that video of your son, and I don't know if you saw my comment in chat, but as a third-party bystander, I was so proud of him. I could not stop smiling. It was the cutest little thing when you were like, how old are you? He said 3. And I was like, oh my God, good job, buddy.
I felt like it was like my friend's kid or something,
Exactly.
like saying it, and I was so happy. I was so proud of him. It was amazing.
I have to tell you, I've been wanting to post that for over a week, but I've been sitting on it with my wife. We've been talking like how much info is okay to share about our kids, and that question asked a lot, or there was a lot of personal question. We actually cut out the first question. We don't talk about our kids' names, and that's where we decided to draw the line. We already post some videos of him, and so it's not a secret that he has red hair and blue eyes and that he's 3. I talk about that all the time. I also talk about how my wife's name is Brooklyn. So we decided it was safe to post. But I made that video a week ago, and I've been dying every day like, okay, I need to post this because I'm a proud dad right now. I'm a proud dad.
You should be.
I know how hard it was
Incredible.
for him, right? Like it's not like
Yeah.
I'm excited that he's gonna be able to talk, but like I see how big of a challenge it is for him to, like, his instinct is he just wants to repeat whatever you say to him. And for the first time being able to like see this, like, I don't know, you ask him something and he says something, he is proud of himself. And I'm proud of him for what he's done. But anyway.
Yeah, his little grin just had me. I was so proud of him. So just give him big hugs from us.
Yes.
And oh my goodness, I was so proud. My daughter has a little bit longer of a name, so I don't think that's on my horizon anytime soon. But we are working on it, and like her ABA therapist has pictures of everybody in the house, and they go over everybody's name on a regular basis. So we're hoping to deal with that soon. But I made the mistake of giving her a 3-syllable first name,
no.
and that was my bad.
Oh no. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys and your how are you guys doing? How are you guys holding up? I already
Lexi can go
confessed
first. Amy
for
can
me.
go
I was
first.
honest,
No,
you guys.
I
I
went
was
first
honest.
last
You guys
time.
got
You
to
go
be
first
honest
this time.
here.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay. A couple things. Yesterday, I was a little bit less in the chat. I'm pretty sure you guys noticed I was less liking and stuff like that. The night before, I hadn't slept. Yesterday was my son's evaluation at the new school that I had tried to get him into. So the way that it works here in Arizona at this specific school, it's called Pathways. And I don't know if anybody else has ever heard of that, but it's the school here in Arizona. It's made for children who have special needs or developmental needs, which is where my son falls at. He's autistic, but he also has developmental delays. The public school system, I've tried since he was in pre-K, and it's not really helping him all that much. He has an IEP. He's had an IEP since he was in preschool, since he got his autism diagnosis, and it just hasn't really helped him. There's 24 students, 1 teacher, and sometimes an aide. He's not in a self-containment class because he is technically like, what if you want to put a level on him, he is like level 1, so he can take care of his needs, but he has different things that he needs help with. So I've been fighting this ever since like finding out that my ABA might be cut, because they're cutting it's called Action Behavior Centers. They're cutting them from our Medicaid insurance because they cost too much. So I've been fighting that since I got the letter in December, and it's mid-February, and they're still saying that they're going to cut. However, I will say yesterday I got a call from our ABA center, and they're trying to fight for the parents to at least get a 90-day extension, which is called the continuity of care. So that they can transition, because they gave us 2 months to find something, and wait lists are crazy ridiculous here. So they are fighting for all parents to be able to get at least a 90-day extension to see if they can fix the issue with insurance within that time frame, and then they can stay there. And then if not, then we will have to find something else. So I've been looking at all kinds of different things, and last week I shared on here that I had an appointment with the new school.
So after talking to the quote unquote principal, I talked to her last week and she said, we're going to have him come into the school for one full day. And we're going to do like an evaluation, basically like see where his needs are and see if we can help him and see if this is a great fit. Now, one thing I will have to tell you is my son hates the school he goes to. Why? I don't know. I've asked, I've tried, pulling it out of him because he also doesn't speak like a neurotypical 6-year or 7-year-old. Sorry, I have to remind myself he's 7 now. He just turned 7 on Saturday.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
But so I have to remind myself sometimes he doesn't like really say things like in detail. Well, yesterday he went to the school and he told me after school that he loves school.
Whoa.
He hates math. And yesterday he told me, I love math. I did math.
Whoa.
I was so proud and
my
so
gosh.
happy when I picked him up and we were in the car and I was talking to him I didn't have to pull anything out of him.
No way.
He was speaking on his own and it just made me so happy.
Lexi, that's a big deal. That's a really big
Yeah.
deal. If he
It's a huge deal because he usually just says, if I ask him, what'd you do in school today? Nothing. Did you do math? Yeah. I don't like math. And then that's it. Like he won't open up about anything. And yesterday he was like, I have friends and like I did math and I liked it.
Wow.
And my teacher's nice. And then this morning was a little hard because he said, I want to go back to a purple school.
Oh.
Because Pathways is in purple. So he said, I want to go back to a purple school. And then when we got to his regular school, I had a mini meltdown, I like to call it, because it wasn't full blown throwing himself or anything like that. But it was a really hard time getting him out of the car.
It was just the assessment that he enjoyed. And so he hasn't fully transitioned and he wanted to go to the new school. Is that what happened today?
So the way that the school does it is they bring them in for one entire day and they assess throughout the day.
Got it.
So
and that was Pathways.
They take him in Pathways. Yeah.
Pathways. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, that's a good sign. He didn't want to go to he wants to go to the new school.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, when does he start? Do you have a start date?
So that's the thing. After they do the full day assessment, the teacher has to write up. She has 24 hours to write up like what they can help him with, if it's a good fit for him and all that other stuff. So they really invest in these children having the proper education that they need.
Yeah.
So the teacher has to write up a report. She should have it in by the end of the day today. The director or principal or whatever you want to call it will review it tomorrow. And she said that she should have an answer for me no later than Friday.
That's wonderful. That's so good. Lexi, congratulations. That's a big deal.
Yeah, we're still working through it and I'm fingers crossed, but
I take that as a huge win. If your kid has a meltdown every single day until he gets there, I mean, that's a win because he wants to go to the good school. So,
yes,
well
agree.
done. That's exciting, Lexi. So you're feeling pretty good right now.
I am like on cloud 9 right now. I'm so excited. I mean, this morning was rough and I was feeling a little bit down earlier and I was like, I really need the live. When's the live coming on?
And then I was late starting it.
I live for this live.
Oh, Lexi,
I live for this live. But yeah, I was a little bit down because I know I left him at school kind of crying and whining because he was having a really hard time because he does not want to go back to his normal school. But I'm also on cloud 9 because I'm excited that I was able to find something for him. And I feel like it's not just me. I feel like this is kind of like a good thing for all parents out there in the world right now and everybody listening. You have to do what's best for your child. Yeah. And sometimes, unfortunately, that does not mean that
that means that they will not go to the public school system. Sometimes that means they need ABA therapy all the way up until they're 9, or further than that. Sometimes that means they need to go to a different school that's going to give them the attention that they need so that they have those opportunities to learn. So the only reason why I wanted to share this story with everybody here is because I want everybody to know you have to do what's right for your child, for their needs, and for what is best for their learning. And the public school system is not always best for all children. So don't feel bad because I had a lot of questions on here. I was watching the chat. There was a lot of questions on here about, do you think you should do ABA therapy over public school or over schooling? Sometimes that's what they need, and that is okay. They will get the skills that they learn in school eventually, but
And
you
I
have
think
to
it's
build
also
on the
good
skills they
to
have.
not feel like you're alone in making that decision too. Like I am grateful for my kids' support team, and the people that I have chosen to be on my son's care team, his behavior analyst, his school, all the professionals, the doctor. Like I fully trust that they have my son's best interest because I picked the good ones, and I can go and I can consult with them on what's best for my own son. And I think what's hard is when you feel like you're making the decision alone of pulling from school or not. Like that puts a lot of pressure on you, and it's hard to know that you're doing it because it's what's best for your kid, or because maybe this ABA program is really just trying to get more business. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you got to do what's best for your kid, and you got to have your care team behind you to support you in doing it. Lexi, this is great news for sure. Let's answer some questions in the chat for a minute. Is that okay, Lexi? I don't know where Amy went. She had to hop
Yeah, I
off.
think she might have gotten a call or something. But yeah, let's answer some questions from the chat. That would be great.
Let's do it. Oh, Brittany, that is a hard question. That is a really hard question. How do you deal with self-hatred? And so I don't know. Like, do I have to be careful saying that on TikTok? I don't know all the rules.
Yeah, we should probably censor it a little bit.
Yeah, SIB or yeah.
Or self-unliking, maybe.
Yes, self-unliking.
Because I think the word hatred is something that
that
might get flagged.
they might censor. Okay, Brittany, that's a lot. Brittany, are you experiencing that? Is your child experiencing that? I feel for you. That is a hard thing to go through, and it's something that you need to take very seriously. How old is your kid? It's one of those things when I talk about a care team, we need to have the most, the bigger the problem, the more important it is to have a care team involved. He's 11. Yeah, that's really tough. 20 years ago, what they would do when people were trying to harm themselves, what they would do is they would make it so that they had to be watched 24/7 until they signed a piece of paper saying that they weren't going to do anything to themselves. But what they found is that was not effective. I mean, people can just sign a piece of paper, and if it's really bad, depending what stage we're at, and it's talks of doing that. The number one recommendation that professionals will give you is to create a safety plan. When your child is calm, when your child is safe, and that safety plan should include things like who to talk to, things to do, reasons why you are important and you are loved, and coming up with those things when you're calm, and then when you're not in a good spot, to be able to reflect back onto that plan of what you do. I want to tell you that that is a behavior that I strongly encourage you to have a team of professionals around you. And we don't talk about mental health therapy enough for kids with autism, but that is a very important therapy and treatment for our kids. And absolutely, I would ensure that he is getting a therapist helping out with that. That is a hard one. All right. Morgan says we worked on journaling with our kiddos that went through that, and we would draw feelings with them. Morgan, that's great. Part of that is it comes with the safety plan too. So safety plan, you identify alternative behaviors to cope, like coping strategies. And when you're looking at those, journaling is a great one. And then there's also mindfulness strategies of grounding yourself in the moment and the present. A therapist can really help you create a good safety plan. And then those coping strategies should be used regularly, not just when you're heightened. And that way, in the moment, your child is more likely to do that. Lau says, difference between speech delay and autism. That's a good question, Lau. Speech delay simply means that you learn to speak later, and it's delayed. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Autism might include that, but autism is a much more descriptive diagnosis. And so there are many criteria that need to be met to count as autism. And so things like, and it's in the DSM-5 that you're going to be looking at, and you need to look, oftentimes there's sensory issues. So they may engage in repetitive behaviors like stimming. There can be communication, struggles with communication, but it's not necessarily a speech delay. There's a lot of people with autism that don't have a speech delay. What they have is there's socialization problems that they might not understand when people are using sarcasm or things like that. And so it doesn't always include a speech delay. But then there's also other parts of autism as well that can include like rigidness, in thinking, and the stimming behavior, the repetitive behaviors, communication deficits, social deficits, and so it's a more descriptive diagnosis. Let's see here. All right, Amy, you
Yeah,
popped off. You got lost there for a minute.
Yeah, no, I had to answer a phone. My case manager with Human Services was calling me, so I had to take a second there. But yeah, no, I don't ever want to be a damper on a bright candle. So sorry, Lexi, but I have been so stressed out. I live in what is fortunately a blue state, and unfortunately right now that is putting us with odds at certain other people. And I really don't want to start a political debate in chat, so you guys please just keep it minimum. But it's really frustrating because right now we are on a list of states that are basically being blackmailed at the very bottom of the barrel there, and we're missing a lot of funding for kids with disabilities. And so because of that, I am losing all of my homemaking and community connection hours, which were all that was really carrying me through, because I can't have a full-time job because of these kiddos. And
You're not kidding me. They're changing that?
They reduced it, basically saying that the services I provide for my daughter would be necessary for any 4-year-old. So I don't get to revisit that until she turns 6. As of March,
so
I will be
sorry.
losing all of my hours in both areas. So I am melting down a little bit. I'm angry. I am trying to be an adult about it. But I'm heartbroken and I'm disappointed and I'm really angry, and I don't understand why my daughter is being punished when she has nothing to do with this political bias and this political shit storm, honestly, that we are dealing with. I'm just I'm so mad. I'm so mad and I'm so disappointed. And I'm really stressed because I don't know what this means for my family's financials, and I'm just really not okay right at this moment. But I am trying to be, and I can't break in front of my little one, so it's been hard because I don't have a lot of other adults who understand what I'm going through. So you guys are really it. So yeah, that's where I am this week, and
Oh my gosh.
it's been really hard.
So to clarify, some people might not understand the codes that you were talking about there, the what services you were getting. This was essentially saying your child has a disability and you need to be home to take care of aspects of that disability. And right, and you were
Yes.
the state would support your efforts since you were not able to hold a job at the same time as managing the disability for your daughter. And I don't know all the details of the cuts. What I do know is that nationwide, Medicaid is under attack. That the very service that is intended for those with special needs, Medicaid, is being cut because of the big beautiful bill. Now, again, this is not a political platform. We don't do political debates. We do advocacy for people with disabilities. And right now, that big beautiful bill of cutting Medicaid funding, they pretty much said, well, there's a bunch of fraud, and so we're cutting Medicaid, and states have to figure out how to make up the difference by catching all the fraud. And states aren't finding the fraud. I mean, the fraud just isn't. They're not able to cut out all this fraud and make up the budget. And so now they're looking at how do they cut services. And one of the things that is under attack right now is people with disabilities, and how absolutely disgusting for any politician to think that the place that you jump to is attacking people who are weak, people who are disabled, people who need the support the most. And so I am so frustrated for you. I am angry. I am so
Just
sorry.
it's like
Amy.
they act like I don't know. They act like our children don't exist, that they don't need help, that it's not hard for us, that it's not like a full-time job to do this. And we work so hard, and I work so hard for her. I mean, she, I don't share a lot about it, but outside of autism, she has what are febrile complex seizures. And so if she gets sick or if she comes into anything viral, she will and can drop into seizures that last longer than 5 minutes. The seizures that are back to back, and I have to go to Children's Hospital and administer sedatives and do all these things. So I spend a majority of my time disinfecting laundry and disinfecting all of her toys about 6 or 7 times a day. And on top of that, I'm managing her and watching her and dealing with the meltdowns and, listening to the screaming. And I am currently hitting that wall also. That's like, I don't know how to keep pushing through this. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I have all of these different emotions, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it because other people are making these decisions for me at this point, and it feels like physically shaking right now. My whole body is just, I just don't understand it.
Amy, that's a lot, and you're not overreacting. If anything, I mean, you're holding it together really well for how drastic this can be for you and your family. What are your options now then? What
Basically, what
can
I'm
you
looking
do?
at is a program here that trains for CNA. They train people to be CNAs. And then what I can do is submit through a program for CNA hours and try to make up some of those hours that I'm making from what I've lost. It's not guaranteed. It's not something I've ever been through before, so it's feeling like walking into a dark room and just feeling my way around. But I'm gonna do it because I don't have any other choice, and I'm being backed into a corner. And so my only option is to start fighting like a rabid animal, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I am gonna try and get trained for the CNA. I'm looking at part-time jobs. It has to be something that truly allows part-time, and it has to be something that, like, that's the sucker right there, is that it has to be a job that understands that at the drop of the hat I could have to leave, and that is a very real thing. And that's just not very many jobs that want to hear that their employee is just going to randomly take off in mid-shift. But that is a reality of my world, and so I'm looking at everything. There were some parents that did me a giant service, and I'm grateful, like I said, to you and other parents that can get out there and be at these protests and be at these town hall meetings. Because apparently there were several caretakers, not just parents, but caretakers in general, that went to a city hall or town hall that was about this, and they have started pushing back on the community connection hours portion of it, which is, for those of you that don't know, when you are basically held responsible and reimbursed for taking your child out to public settings, classes, gym classes, public settings of any kind where they're socially interacting with other kids their age or other children in general. And they went and fought for those hours specifically. And so right now that is kind of hanging in limbo. They're not sure what's going to happen with it. They may just reduce the hours. They may stop the situation altogether, because now there are people that are actively speaking out. But
so this isn't just you being impacted. This is widely
it's
impacting
all parents.
families.
It's all, it's any caretaker of someone with disabilities.
And are they gathering? I mean, are there protests?
Right,
are you going to those protests? Are there, like, what is your state doing to fight
I'm
this?
full-time caretaker for her. My husband works all day, 5 days a week, and so he unfortunately is not capable of it. I am not. I would be there if I could. I'd be there in a heartbeat. But
people are there. People are making a stink over this.
I'm so grateful for those people, because those people are the ones that have that community connector hanging in the balance right now. But the sucky part to that is I lose these benefits as of March. And we are sitting on the 17th of February, and I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means for us, so I will keep y'all updated, but
Please
that
do.
is where I'm at.
We're here for you, and I wish I had a good answer for you. And just if there's if there is if there are letters that can be written to Congress people in your area, I'm happy to set that up, like I did with the Utah one, to give a place that is, you click a button and it drafts an email to the legislators that are relevant, and drafts like an email to talk about how angry we are. And I am more than willing to use this platform to help advocate for that. So let me know what to do.
That would be incredibly helpful. For sure. I will reach out to you, and I'm definitely down for that, because through all of this, it really has made me feel not necessarily bad or guilty, but in a way, yes, bad and guilty that I can't be one of those parents that are fighting. And I've got the fight in me. It's there. The fire is there. The anger is there. I just don't have an outlet to let it out at. So like, if I can, I'm in. I'm in. I will do whatever it takes to advocate for this girl, because she's my whole world, and I will do whatever it takes to make sure that my government and my country take care of her, because this is crazy. This is crazy. The things we deal with as parents, the reality of just the world as an adult is so daunting. And then to be an adult that is also responsible for someone that can't fight for themselves is just, it's defeating. It's defeating, and it breaks you. It breaks your soul, and it just breaks everything inside you.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like, typically caring for people with disabilities has always been something that unifies the left and right politically. Like, it's very rare that there's pushback to actually, like, take care of people with disabilities. And right now, like, I feel like there's so much in the system that's going against people with disabilities, and they're going so like very far up until the point of just flat out saying that they're trying to harm people with disabilities. So it's frustrating. I'm so sorry. And we have, I mean, I know the numbers on here, like it ranges from 1 to 300 people, but that's people coming in and out. These lives get a lot of people on here, Amy. And so if we put something together and we can get a lot of people to send emails and like just be thinking like, who would those emails go to? Try to figure that out. And what would you want the message to roughly say and talk about? And then work with me and we'll see if we can get something figured out. Because I know there's a lot of people in here, like all 130 of you, right, would be willing to write a letter if it was made easy for you to advocate for this. So we'll help you out, Amy. We got your back.
Appreciate you guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be the damper on a really good.
That's okay.
That's the
Amy.
whole point of this live. That's the whole point of this. That's the whole
I
point of
just
this
want to
live.
say that you were so amazing, Amy. You help out so many people on here. You answer questions. You're always in the chat. You always come up. You are an amazing woman, an amazing mother. And I know right now it's really rough, and especially because of all the changes that are going through in your state right now. But know that you are not alone. We are here for you as a village. I think this is exactly what Kylan was going towards when he started all of this, is to build that village and build that community. And to hear
sometimes
you
villages
break
fight
down
with each or
yeah,
fight
the
for each
village
other,
will
and
fight
we
to everything.
yeah.
As a community, we're all here for you. We're all behind you. If you want to get those letters out, definitely please do. I would be more than happy to join with you. Arizona just went through the same thing. We got a lot of major cuts, and then they had to roll it back because the governor said, no, this isn't right. You can't cut all of the funds. So then they rolled it back, and now we're teetering between, oh, maybe by your next ISP meeting, then maybe by then we'll have a definite answer. For now, you just keep the hours that you have. Even though his needs have changed, you're going to keep the hours that you have because we need to see what it's going to do. We need to see what they want to change. And so I'm kind of a little bit behind you in that, but I'm looking forward towards the future and seeing like this is a reality. My hours for my son could get cut. Who's going to take him from school to ABA therapy, from ABA therapy home? Who's going to feed him? Who's going to make his lunch? Who's going to do all of these things that we have to do on the back end that I won't be able to do anymore if the hours get cut? So if it helps you fight, I'd be more than happy and more than willing to help you, because I feel like eventually I'm also going to need that fight, that help. And I think if we all come together on this platform, all 122 of us, that's going to make a difference. And we can do it everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. We can fight together, you
It's not
guys.
a
So
fight that I'm fighting alone.
yeah. Yeah, you're not alone for sure. Keep us posted on all of this, Amy. I'm very curious. For those asking in the chat, it's Colorado, right, Amy? You're in Colorado.
Yes, I'm in Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. This has been a great time. I know we on this live we fight together, we cry together, we laugh together. It's a good time. If you're not following me yet, hit me a follow. I go live every day. I try to go around 12 p.m. Eastern time to 2 p.m. Eastern time live every day. And we have actually gone past our time now. I do need to go so I can hop on to some other meetings. But Lexi, Amy, thank you guys for coming up and for being open. And yeah, we'll be on here tomorrow. So please come back, hit me a follow so you can find the live tomorrow. And yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank